I'm going to do a little zoom in and scope out how these cacao seedlings are doing. So all of them have rooted, and you can see they have their little stem coming out of the cocoa core, and a lot of them have lifted the bean off of the growing medium, and you can see some right here. The cacao bean itself is beginning to crack, and what's supposed to happen, as I understand it, is they'll naturally drop the husk, but some of them may need a little assistance, and I am not sure what to look for the ones that might need help. So I'm going to keep an eye out, and we'll see if it becomes more obvious. This one's looking pretty good. It's going straight up. Hey guys, so this is going to be part 3 of growing cacao. I am working on potting them up and transitioning them outside because they have gotten quite big and they're all shading each other out at this point. So they are ready to move out here. Look at these big beautiful leaves. Size of my hand, but I can show you a few of the scenarios that I talked about previously. So one of them was that you might have to kind of free the sprout from the bean, and you can see that here is a good example. So I wasn't sure if I was going to encounter this myself, but I definitely have after I looked through these closer. So this was all closed, and you can see that the sprout kind of was growing out the side, and it did manage to escape the bean, but it was at a weird angle. Here is an example of that coming out the side, but this one did fine. I have another few examples where they just turned and grew straight up into the bean, and they're in a really weird state. This one here on the corner, let me see if I can get it to zoom in. I'll take this out and show you. So this one, it grew up and then down in a circle and just grew around inside the cacao bean. So now that this is opened up, hopefully it will right itself and grow straight up. I don't know, we'll see. Similarly, I have, here's another one. This one right here on the left. See if I can stop shaking this so much. It kind of grew around itself and inside the bean. The one behind it, this one right here, it seems like the leaves have died So I don't know if this one is going to make it or what's going to happen with that one. We'll see. This one's also done that too. The leaves that it had have died. So hopefully it'll grow new leaves. I am unsure how these are going to perform. We'll see. But I'll probably keep these ones inside on the heat mat. And we got all the large ones here. I've got them potted up in anticipation of the warmer, more humid weather for the summer. I definitely wanted to get them out here for this because this is the closer to their growing climate that they're used to. We'll see how they respond to being potted and no longer having the heat mat. I think they'll be fine because they'll actually be getting some more nutrients with this soil. But yeah, that's where these stand. In the next video, I'm sure they'll be 2 or 3 times this size, and I'll be having to start thinking about putting them in even larger pots because there was 70 of these to begin with. And I am going to experiment with placing these in different locations just to see what growing conditions they can handle. Like I'm thinking I'll have a few indoors in different spots at different windows, because I've seen some collectors and growers having them as indoor plants. So it's clearly doable, but I want to see just which spots work the best at my place. So a lot of experimentation to be done. I'll report back with how these perform. So I brought all the ones that I got unstuck back inside to kind of grow a little bit more under the lights and the more controlled environment. But I wanted to show you more of the different types of things that happened when they were stuck. So this one was like looped around itself several times and then managed to get out. Let me see if I can show you. You can see this funky shape here. It's going up and down and around and all sorts of stuff. But the most interesting one that kind of gives me some hope for the ones that had their leaves on the ends die is this one right here. So this one, I can actually pull it out. This one decided to grow a second shoot from the side. So, and maybe it even has maybe the beginnings of a third right there on the bottom left. Not quite sure. But this kind of tells me that it has the ability to grow a second shoot if it wants to. So for these other ones where the leaves look like they've died from being stuck inside the bean for too long, maybe they will sprout different shoots in response now that they've been freed. Who knows? We'll see what happens with these ones, which ones ultimately make it, or maybe they'll all make it. We'll see.